The statues are watching. Hundreds of massive stone faces, scattered across one of the most isolated islands on Earth. But here's the unsettling part: by the time Europeans arrived in 1722, the civilization that built them was already collapsing. No trees and no resources. And a population on the brink of starvation. So what happened here? Most people believe Easter Island is a story of human ingenuity, a remote culture achieving the impossible. But that's only half the story. Because hidden beneath these towering statues is a darker truth, one of environmental collapse, internal conflict, and a warning humanity may be repeating today. In this video, we'll uncover what really happened, and why Easter Island might not be ancient history, but a glimpse into our future. Easter Island, known as Rapa Nui, is one of the most isolated inhabited places on Earth. Located over 2,000 miles from the nearest continent, it was first settled by Polynesian voyagers around 1200 AD. When they arrived, the island was lush and thriving. Dense palm forests covered the land. And that's where the statues come in. The Moai, these massive stone figures, some weighing over 80 tons, were carved to represent ancestral chiefs. They weren't just art. They were symbols of power, protection, and identity. Each clan competed to build bigger, more impressive statues, believing their ancestors would bring prosperity to their people. And for a time, it worked. The population grew. The culture flourished. But beneath the surface, something dangerous had already begun. To move the Moai across the island, the Rapa Nui needed one critical resource: wood. Massive trees were cut down to create rollers, sleds, and ropes. At first, it seemed sustainable. The forests were vast. But the demand never stopped. More statues. More competition. More trees. Slowly, the island began to change. Forests disappeared. Soil eroded. Crops failed. Without trees, they couldn't build canoes, which meant fishing became nearly impossible. Food shortages followed. And with scarcity came conflict. Archaeological evidence suggests that violence increased. Statues were toppled. Communities turned against each other. This wasn't just environmental decline, it was societal collapse. The very symbols of unity, the Moai, became reminders of a system that had pushed the island too far. And by the time outsiders finally arrived, the damage had already been done. When Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen reached Easter Island in 1722, he didn't find a thriving civilization. He found a fractured society. The population had drastically declined. Resources were scarce. And many of the great statues had already been abandoned or destroyed. But here's where the story gets even darker. For years, the collapse of Easter Island was blamed entirely on the people themselves. So the truth isn't just one of failure, it's a perfect storm of environmental pressure, human decisions, and external forces. Still, one fact remains undeniable. The island reached a tipping point where recovery was no longer possible. And once it crossed that line, everything unraveled. Today, Easter Island stands as one of history's most haunting lessons. A once thriving society, reduced to ruins, surrounded by the silent gaze of its own creations. But this isn't just a story about the past. Because the same patterns exist today. Overconsumption. Environmental degradation. Competition for limited resources. The Rapa Nui didn't set out to destroy their world, they were simply responding to incentives, traditions, and pressures they didn't fully understand. And in doing so, they pushed their environment beyond its limits. Sound familiar? The real mystery of Easter Island isn't how the statues were built. It's whether we're repeating the same story on a global scale. The statues are still standing. But the people who built them are long gone. If you want to explore another civilization that vanished under mysterious circumstances, just keep watch our next video. Because history doesn't just tell stories. It leaves warnings.